Breaking news, the Cleveland Browns officially have hired an offensive coordinator. Let's tell you everything you need to know about him and what's next for Todd Monken and his staff. Hit that subscribe button before we dive into this news. It is totally free, and if you want to be up to date on everything that happens with your Cleveland Browns, this is the channel for you. Listen, I'm at the crib right now. It's relatively late in the evening, 9 p.m. Eastern, and I wanted to get on here and make a video for you guys because, listen, I'm a diehard Browns fan myself. I care about this. I care about this role. I care about this job. I care about this football team. So let's do this together, Brownies. And it is official that Todd Monken is bringing Travis Switzer to Cleveland to be their offensive coordinator. The OC role is filled. Pretty big role to fill in general for most situations. However, I don't think this is as telling as most other OC roles that get filled. Why? Because Todd Monken, I think we're going to find out officially tomorrow that he is going to call plays for this Browns team. He's been a play caller all his time as an offensive coordinator in Tampa Bay, Georgia, uh, and with Baltimore last season, a couple seasons before that, obviously. And he's done a pretty phenomenal job, I would say. Lamar Jackson's passer rating under Todd Monken, better than it is under any other offensive coordinator that he's worked with. And it's a substantial difference. Substantial difference. I've made videos on that. Go check them out. But Travis Switzer, who we getting here to help lead this Browns offense that we're trying to get going, right? Like I said, key piece is going to be Todd Monken here, but Switzer spent about 9 seasons with the Baltimore Ravens, and what's fascinating about his connection to Monken is Switzer was a offensive quality control coach from 2021 to 2023. What happened? Well, Todd Monken saw something in him, promoted him from quality control coach. He made Switzer the Ravens run game coordinator from 2024 to 2025. Obviously, that run game has been absolutely phenomenal. I mean, last 3 years combined, like it's the best rushing attack in the league. And I know, I see the comments sometimes. They're like, Joey, we don't have Derrick Henry. Joey, we don't have Lamar Jackson. Quite frankly, listen, I know we don't have them. I don't care. Derrick Henry is an aging, fumbling running back. I'm not saying he's lost it, but he's not the same Derrick Henry that he was in Tennessee. I give credit to the schemes that Monken and Switzer dialed up for Derrick Henry. And like I said, those guys are stars. Their staff took them to another level. Jackson's best seasons were under Monken and Harbaugh. The facts, the stats, it backs it up. I'm saying the system you saw in Baltimore that was so productive will lead to more productivity for the young talent on this Cleveland Browns offense that, quite frankly, was not given the most, the most was not brought out of them under head coach Kevin Stefanski and Tommy Rees, who for some reason is going to call plays in Atlanta next year. Wait till the Falcons fans find out how that looks. It's the fact of the matter, folks. Quinshon Judkins, an absolute stud. Why did Judkins get off to a hot start first 8 weeks of the season, and then the yards per carry, just if you look at a graph, it went down and down and down? Because teams figured it out. They figured out Kevin Stefanski's plan, his system, and Judkins was facing 8+ defenders in the box, more than any other running back in the National Football League. He's getting met in the backfield immediately. I think of all our players, this is best for Judkins and Shedeur, who we will talk about Shedeur Sanders on the back half of the show. Don't you worry. This is the best news for Quinshon Judkins, who's going to come off that injury, determined, workhorse running back as he was trying to be this year. But whenever you carry, you're being hit immediately, it's difficult. Things are going to open up for him, especially if we go fix that offensive lineman. I can't tell you, man, how important it is for Cleveland to draft and sign the right offensive lineman. I'm a big fan of Francis Mauigoa, the Miami tackle. I say take him if he's there at pick 6. Same in free agency. Cleveland's got to clear some cap. I'm going to make a video on how they can do that. But there's going to be some OLs hitting the market that you got to get out there and sign one of them. 4 years are free agents, quite frankly. And so that's the quickest fast track to success is fixing that Browns offensive line. But I digress. Let's talk more about our new offensive coordinator, Travis Switzer. And like I said, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on these updates. So Baltimore's ground game, the year that Switzer got promoted to run game coordinator by Todd Monken, racked up an NFL high 2,661 yards. They averaged 156.6 rushing yards per game and a franchise record 26 rushing touchdowns that year and the second most 20 plus rushes, 20 plus yard rushes, which in the NFL. I don't think that these are stats to scoff at. I really genuinely think there is merit to the abilities of these coaches. And by the way, John Harbaugh wanted some of these coaches to come with him. They chose to come with Todd Monken to the Cleveland Browns. Now, Harbaugh won the special teams guy, and we're going to need a special teams guy soon to replace Bubba. Hallelujah. I'll take anybody else, quite frankly. But I think there's something to be excited about here, and Monken's putting together a nice little staff. We're taking Baltimore. We're taking back our team from Baltimore, okay? Now, let's talk a little bit more about how this is going to affect Shedeur Sanders and the Browns offense in 2026. But before we do that, we got to give a special shout out to today's sponsor. Shout out Prize Picks, man. The big game is almost here. There's no better way to cash in during America's biggest sporting event than Prize Picks, where it always feels good to be right. And since the big game's right around the corner, that also means it's your last chance to get into the football action before next season. So close the season out right with Prize Picks by getting $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. I love the app. It's a lot of fun. I make lineups every week, and I try to win money doing it, and I do win money doing it. But since I can't watch my favorite team anymore for a while, I need a way to stay entertained during these games, right? Have something to root for. PrizePicks helps me do that. It makes all the games more entertaining. And new feature alert, PrizePicks now has early payouts. If your player gets off to a hot start, you now have the option to cash out those winnings before the game even finishes. Join millions of users and sign up for America's #1 sports picks app. For the big game, I know I've got Drake May in my lineup, going for more than half a passing touchdown. I've also got Kenneth Walker, more than half a touchdown. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it is good to be right. Okay, Cleveland's starting to fill out this staff quite nicely here. I'm also hoping Monken does eventually bring Daniel Stern, who's reportedly going to be the Browns' new associate head coach if the interview goes well. But we'll keep the focus here on our OC Switzer, who specializes specifically in the run game. Where Monken has excelled in his career is specifically developing quarterbacks and adapting to different skill sets in different offenses, which is why I strongly believe this is the perfect scenario for Shedeur Sanders if he is the next franchise quarterback of the Browns and or whoever is going to be the Browns' next franchise quarterback. Monken has gone to different systems and brought the most out of gunslingers like Jameis Winston and Ryan Fitzpatrick, made game manager Stetson Bennett a Heisman finalist at Georgia. Stetson Bennett, ladies and gentlemen, back-to-back national championships when Monken was the OC at Georgia. Guess what Georgia's done? Not won a playoff game since Monken left. It's a long time. That was 2022, folks. You know, if you're losing track of the years, it's 2026 right now. Okay, I don't want to make you guys feel old, but we're 4 years away from 2030. Closer to 2030 than we are to 2020. I'm sorry. Some people freaking out right now, going, holy shit, Joey, you just made me feel old AF. I get it. I'm feeling it too. But point there is those are two completely different styles of quarterbacks that did well under Monken, and then Lamar Jackson, unanimous MVP, and like I said, best passer rating of his career with Monken as his OC. So the idea here is you get a guy in Switzer who specializes in one area of offense, and that is run game coordinators. Also does work with tight ends, which would be great for Fannin. And Monken, who's excelled in the pass games of his offenses and adapting to a player's strengths, quarterback strengths, bringing the most, maximizing things out of his players. Really, what I love about Monken is he'll find your players' strengths and build game plans for your players. Hey, he's not He doesn't have a game plan set. He's versatile and can adapt to systems and bring the most out of who you have. That's what Cleveland needs right now, and that's what they're getting. So I think the OC is not necessarily, you don't need a big home run hit. You don't, Cliff Kingsbury is an option. You didn't need to go out and get a big swing because you don't want someone competing to play calling with Monken. That's going to be his responsibilities, I would imagine. You want a guy who will support Todd Monken, who knows him well. They have a good working relationship. Obviously, Switzer and Monken have worked very well the past 3 years in Baltimore. It's exactly what the doctor ordered for your Cleveland Browns. So get in the comment section. Tell me how you feel about the new offensive coordinator for the Browns. Maybe you've heard of him before. Maybe you've never heard of him and that worries you. Well, hopefully I could shed some light on that situation because I genuinely am optimistic to see this Browns offense next year. It can't be worse than last year. Surely not, especially with an offensive minded head coach. So, gonna have plenty of draft content, plenty of free agency content for you guys all off season. So that Cleveland brings in the right pieces, and I'll make videos for every single one of them. I'm not kidding. I'm gonna make videos for every single signing we make. So hit that subscribe button. Do not miss out on Browns news and rumors every single day. Really hope some good fortune comes our way here. We're going to cheer on Shedeur Sanders in the Pro Bowl tomorrow night. We will be live for a watch party. If you're still watching this video, you are a real one. So comment down below. You're going to pull up to the Pro Bowl watch party we're doing tomorrow night. Appreciate you guys so much. Hopefully this offense and coaching staff works out, but I like what Monken's putting together. Appreciate you guys. Go Browns.